human life is meant for self-realization. The first lesson of Bhagavad Gita is we are not the body but a spirit soul within. Rupa Goswami says, Rupa Goswami gives us the ladder Shraddha to Prema. So when we have little faith, then Krishna connects us with devotees and he arranges to meet us with the spiritual master and we receive initiation, sadhu sangha. Then under the guidance of spiritual master, when you start practicing bhakti, anartha nivritti happens. Then nishtha, ruchi, asakti, bhava and prema. So these are the stages of progress. And who is the biggest problem? Who is the biggest obstacle in progress? In our progress? Can anyone guess?
Offenses?
Offenses, yes. Okay. Anybody else? We ourselves, basically. We are the obstruction. We are the obstacles. Our behavior, our uncontrolled mind and senses, they are the obstacles. So, Anyabhilashata sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam. Just give me 1 minute. Anukulyana Krishna anusilanam bhaktiritam. Just 1 minute. So, Shuddha Bhakti should be one's goal. Indra, in this episode, appears to be a, devotee practicing mixed bhakti. And Vritasura, though being a demon, even though he is a demon, even though he was a demon, his aspirations were pure. He was exhibiting pure devotional service. That's the only difference. So bhakti is not a stereotyped thing. Kantimala and tilak. I don't think Vritasura has Kantimala and tilak. And everyone was praying for his death. Can you believe? Everyone is praying for him. Saptarishis were praying for his death. But very few, nobody knew what he was. Actually, it is said it is said Bhagavatam is glorious because Vritasura's story is there. Hare Krishna. Amazing. So when Indra killed Vishwarupa, out of, when Indra killed Vishwarupa out of attachment for his position, his father, Vishwarupa's father, Tvashta, became angry. He performed a fire sacrifice to create a person that would kill Indra. Because of the slightest mistake in his pronunciation, he had to mention Indra Shatru. He a little bit stretched Indra Shatru. So, because of this mistake, instead of, because of this mistake, a person who is supposed to kill Indra was born, but a person, because of this mistake, who would be killed by Indra was born. That is Vritasura. But we all know very well Vritasura was actually Maharaj Chitraketu in the previous life. Because Mother Parvati cursed him to death. Sorry, Mother Parvati caused him to become a Brahmarakshas, a demon. He took the form of a demon, Vritasura. Actually, Vritra means one who covers. He had a huge gigantic body. That covering, that was, he has his body that was covering this, this covering the, he had this wonderful body, and I cannot say wonderful body, he had this demoniac body that was covering the entire space actually. Hare Krishna. Devatas prayed to, Narayan, and they told him, sorry, the Lord, Supreme Lord told them, you just get so you ask Dadichi to give his bones and make a thunderbolt, make a weapon out of it. That weapon will definitely kill Vritasura. Vritasura knew this. So, as a matter of duty, he was created to declare war on Indra, attack Indra and kill him. At least that was what was told to him. So he appeared from the sacrificial fire, went to the battlefield. So went to the battlefield. To cut the story short, today's actually the topic is prayers. Indra, he picked up a club, and with it's a very powerful, powerful club with special powers. He threw at Vritasura with a desire to kill Vritasura. Vritasura picked up, can you see on his left hand, picked up that mace that was coming towards him with force, very casually, and hit with that same mace. He hit the Airavat very hard. Airavat, the elephant of Indra, went back 15 feet, vomited blood, and started crying in pain. Hare Krishna. Indra, who drank nectar, touched Airavat with his nectarine hand and relieved the pain. But Indra, seeing the huge gigantic body of Vritasura, became depressed. How can I win over this person? So, but Vritasura is telling, no, you don't have anything to lose. Don't be depressed. Victory is yours. So, because of the Supreme Lord has instructed you to make a thunderbolt from the bones of Dadichi. Oh Indra, victory is on your side. I am only fighting for the sake of fighting. Hence, he is doing his duty. One thing we should understand, Krishna told Arjuna, Nimitta matra bhavasabhya sachi. You stand there, rest, I'll take care of. So, devotees, we should understand, we should perform our duty and leave the rest to Krishna. It is up to Krishna to decide. It is up to Krishna to decide. Krishna, when Ashwatthama released his Brahmastra to kill that baby Parikshit, Krishna removed Brahmastra and he protected Parikshit. Then later, Krishna, so Brahmastra was removed and Parikshit came into existence. But later, some years later, Krishna decided to remove Parikshit from the scene and wanted to bring Srimad Bhagavatam into existence. Parikshit said, yes, my lord, I have no problem. So, in this world, first lesson, we should execute our duties without being attached to the result. But the result, whatever result comes, we should give it to Krishna, because Krishna is the doer. So Vritasura had full faith. Narayan told like that to Indra. So Indra's victory is certain. But I'm only fighting for the sake of fighting, because I'm on the other side. So he has actually he has more faith on Narayan's words, Krishna's words, than Indra himself. So we should also have full faith. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Holy name works wonders. You may be, we may be chanting for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. It's nothing is happening. No, definitely. Like, one time Radha Govind Maharaj said, if you take a flight in India at 1 o'clock in the 1 a.m. in the morning, and when you see the flight running on the runway, you get a feeling you're actually really flying. But suddenly 3-4 hours later, you wake up and you will hear only the sound, but you don't get a feel the flight is actually moving. I'm sure we all have experienced, right? How many of you agree? Do you agree?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
So, but we should not get on the flight that time, So, yes, the flight is moving. If you sit down patiently, the flight will land in, flight will, we will land in America actually. So we should have that faith. The Srila Prabhupada said, chant 16 rounds, follow 4 regulative principles, do, whatever preaching and service you can do. Just, you just do it. You'll go back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Have faith on Srila Prabhupada's words. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam Maribol. So Vritasura is telling, don't worry, Indra. Have the faith, because Indra saw the huge body of Vritasura and became depressed. But then Vritasura said, no need for depression. Victory is on your side. I have more faith on your Vajra Yudha. I definitely have more faith on it. And the Vritasura prayers are amazing. He's fighting because he had to fight. But then, aham hare tava padaika mula dasana dasa bhavitasmi bhuyaha manasmarita shupatir gunamste granitava karma karotu kayaha. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, will I again be able to be servant of your eternal servants who find shelter only at your lotus feet? O Lord of my life, may I again become their servant, so that my mind may always think of your transcendental attributes. My words always glorify those attributes. My body always engage in the loving service of your Lordship. Aham hare tava padaika mula dasana daso bhavitasmi na bhuya. Just give me 1 minute. So he's telling, 1 minute. He's telling, I'm sorry. He's telling he wants to become servant of servant. Dasana daso. It's very important. Today, why we cannot become servant of servant of anybody? Our egos are very high. I am your servant, Prabhu. When we came to Krishna consciousness, we were very innocent. Sadhguru Maharaj writes, people make a lot of progress in the first 2 years. Why? Because we do not know anything. So whatever we are told to do, we would do. But too, if we can sustain, retain that mentality, then we'll go forward. Actually, we'll run on the path of bhakti. Dasanudas. King Kulashekar, one day he had early morning darshan of Krishna. That's when he spoke. He glorified the Lord with so many, with so many verses. with series of verses, and later they came to be known as a Mukundamala Stotra. They're the famous one. Tvadbritya Britya Paricharika Britya Britya Brityasya Britya Itimam Smaralokanada. My Lord, King Kulashekar says 7 times. I have a desire. What is my desire? Make me servant of servant of servant of servant of servant of servant of servant. Birth after birth. Hare Krishna. So likewise, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this servant of servant is a very high state, high quality, very, is the highest designation in the spiritual world. Because Krishna becomes subservient to the love of his devotee. When Arjuna told him, Senayor Bhyor Madhya Radham Stapayame Achyuta, Arjuna is ordering Krishna. The spirit soul, Jiva Tattva Arjuna is ordering Krishna. Oh Krishna, Achyuta, who never fail, he was infallible in executing the orders. So Krishna is infallible. Here, executing the order of his devotee. So please keep the chariot in the, in the middle of both the armies. In the midst of both the armies. Hare Krishna. So Krishna was so happy because his devotee was ordering. So that position is very high. Krishna never says, Krishna says, if you tell him you're his servant, Krishna says, I am your servant, bro. Servant of sin. That's what he's telling. And especially those devotees, pure devotees, who are spending their time glorifying and Nama Rupa Guna Leela of Krishna, who is using body, mind, and words in worshipping and serving Krishna. Hare Krishna. Amazing. So Jayadeva Goswami wanted to write, Taupada Pankaja Pallav Mudaram. Taupada Pankaja Pallav Mudaram, Priya Charushila, that word. So Krishna bent down and took the dust from the feet of Radharani. So then Jayadeva Goswami said, no, that is the thing that came into his mind. But he said, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Radharani is his internal energy. How can Krishna take dust from the feet of Radharani? This is not actually, philosophically right. He didn't write it. To cut the story short, so he was a little disturbed and he left. He went out of the home into the garden. Later, Krishna came in the form of Jayadeva Goswami and he wrote it, this line, Tapada Pankaja Pallav Mudaram. So Krishna finds happiness in serving his devotees. But is it easy to surrender to him? Is it easy to become somebody's servant? We have fear they will control us. But these pure devotees, they have that. That's why they are exalted. Then the famous verse, Nanaka Prishtam Naparamishti Nasarva Bhaumam Narasadhipatyam Na Yoga Siddhi Rapanar Bhavamva Samanjasatva Virahaya Kankshe. My Lord, I don't want heavenly planets. I don't want the controllership of all the, the planets of the universe. I don't want sovereignty, control, 100% controllership. Narasadhipatyam, Adhipatyam. I don't want to become king of any planets, any planetary systems, not just heavenly planets. I don't want mystic powers. I don't even want liberation. I don't want even liberation. Samanjasatva virahaya kankshe. I was longing. When will, when will the day come I let in the lotus feet of my sweet Lord Krishna? Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavambudao kripaya tava pada pankaja stitaduli sadrusam vichintaya. So he was this is pure devotional service. If one temple has 5 devotees, 4 devotees, as these 4 devotees have a strong aspiration for pure devotional service. We may not be pure devotees. Our heart may be filled with impurities. But we should pray to Krishna, my Lord, give me strength not to act on those impurities, but give me these pure desires. Pure desire of pure devotional service. Hare Krishna. Actually, what is the 3rd verse of Sikshashtakam? Huh? What is that?
Trunadapi Sunichen.
Trunadapi Sunichena. How difficult actually, what is that? Burjana Prabhu writes, unless you apply that, you cannot go from Anartha Nivritti to Nishta stage. Hare Krishna. He said that. Even if you are chanting 20 rounds without fail, without skipping even one day, if we do not apply this verse in our lives, until we apply that verse, we would not go to the next level, Nishta stage. Hare Krishna. So we say, everyone, Prabhuji, my obeisance, Prabhuji, Dandot, please, dasana dasa bhavitasme bhuya. Then only we'll go to Nishta stage. And what is that? What do you want from Krishna? Every 2 months, my Lord, I don't want anything, but please give me this slide. This is the last time I ask. And a list. We take a list out. No, what is Vritasura telling? I don't want heavenly planets. I don't want mystic powers. I don't want controllership of the, all the planets of the universe. And someone, Virahaya, I don't even want liberation. Who is that in Chaitanya Lila said, I don't even want liberation? Everybody said that, of course. But especially, Kalavich Sridhar said, Lord Chaitanya told you how much you suffer, Sridhar. For me, you don't even have a square meal. You don't even have your roof has more holes than the roof. Your dhotis have so many holes. How much you have suffered for my sake, Sridhar? Ask, I will give you. Sridhar said, no, my Lord, I don't need. Hare Krishna. Devotees don't even know Sridhar. Sometimes, we want the whole world to know we are a devotee. So in this verse, that longing and separation, dasanadas, and strong attachment to the lotus feet of Krishna. So I felt when I read it, Kripaya tava pada pankaja sitaduli sadrisam vichintaya. Oh, son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitamam vishame bhavambudo. Kripaya tava pada pankaja. Please pick me up and make me one of the atoms at your lotus feet. I don't need anything. So no heavenly planets, no mystic powers, no liberation. Also, I remembered me, Nadhanam Najanam Sundarim. I don't need that. Bhakti Mukti Siddhi Kame Sakala Asanta Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Atayeva Santa. Karmi wants sense enjoyment. Jnani wants liberation, yogi wants mystic powers. That's why they are asanta, always disturbed, unhappy. But Krishna Bhakta Nishkama, a pure devotee of Krishna consciousness, is Nishkama. He doesn't need anything other than service. Atayeva Santa, Hare Krishna. So, Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim. And he's not, Lord Chaitanya is not even asking liberation. What he's telling? Birth after birth, I want only service, my Lord. Then here, actually, you know that what is that? In this verse, separation and longing. Ajata paksha iva mataram kaga stanyam yata vatsara vatsatara kshudarda priyam priyava vishitam vishana mano ravindaksha didrakshatitvam. So he's telling, oh lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings, always look for their mother to return and feed them. As small calves tied with ropes await anxiously the time of milking, when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers. Or as a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects, always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you. So here the mood, separation and longing. So the baby birds, they're helpless. They don't know anything but the mother. We should have that like that. I don't know anything but Krishna only. So they are not waiting for the milk. Their existence is the mother. Because they know only mother. More than so actually they want the milk, what is that? Mother's warmth, the love of the mother. They're helpless. They're dependent. Actually, how many of you know Chataka bird? Chataka bird doesn't drink water from the ground. That's why we don't see so many birds living actually. They die. Chataka birds, they always look for the, they always look for the black cloud. Their subsistence is on the black cloud. So when the black cloud comes, they become so happy. So there is a relationship between Chataka bird and a black cloud. But sometimes a black cloud sender sends thunders, lightning, and his bird comes down, it crashes on the ground because of the hit of the lightning. But do you think Chataka bird gives up longing for the cloud? No. Because Chataka bird cannot drink water from anywhere. Chataka bird existence is based on, Chataka bird's existence is based on the cloud. Dependence is based on the cloud. Likewise, we should depend on Krishna. We should long for Krishna's grace. We should long for Krishna's warmth. That is very high state. But at least we can experience. One lecture I heard, Krishna is like what is that? Supreme Personality of Godhead. His love is very pure. If we experience, we'll become crazy actually. So when a devotee is showing his love to us, it means Krishna's love is coming through devotee actually. So 3 examples, what is that? And what's a tarakshudarda? The calf, baby calf born, so sweet, longs for the mother. But you know what? Unfortunately, people separate mother calf from the, the mother cow. And but I don't know how many of you seen, first they milk the cow and they leave one, one of the, what do you call, teats of the milk bag. And when the milkman comes to release the calf becomes so agitated. I cannot even wait. Sometimes, it becomes very difficult for the milkman to even release the rope. That much longing. Anyone has seen that? Huh? Anyone has seen that? I've seen many times.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So that much longing, wow. So one should have that type of yearning. We should chant the holy name with that intensity. I mean, it should means, it's for me also, for everyone. We should develop that type of relationship with the devotees and spiritual master. And they, with their mercy, eventually Krishna, Hare Krishna. So the way calf longs for the mother, see, calf's existence is based on the mother cow. Hare Krishna. Mother cow converts the blood in the form of milk and releases through the udder. Amazing. So, in fact, whatever the affection we in the human life we experience, same affection they have. Sometimes maybe more. But the longing, you can see that. And a newly married wife longing for the husband who is away. Actually, now I put the picture of Radharani. There is a lake called Prem Sarovar. Prem Sarovar, and Radharani, feeling separation from Krishna, she wept tears, and that formed a lake, Prem Sarovar. All right. And very interesting. Mamottama sloka janesha sakhyam samsara chakre brahmatah swakarma bhi tvanmayatma atmajadaragehe swasakta chittasya nanata bhuyat. Oh my Lord, my Master, I am wandering through this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. Therefore, I simply seek friendship and association of your pious and enlightened devotees. My attachment to my body, wife, children, and home is continuing by the spell of your external energy. But I wish to be detached to them. Sorry, I wish to be attached to them no longer. I'm sorry. Let my mind, my consciousness, and everything I have be attached only to you. So many things here. What is that? Bhajahure mana Sri Nandanandana Abhaya Charana Aravindare. First thing is, we are a spirit soul. We have been wandering this universe since time immemorial. Prabhupada told Bhakti Swami, whose third, what is that? Tirobhava Mahotsav we celebrated yesterday. Day for yesterday, actually. Prabhupada said, every lifetime we are married, every lifetime we have kids, family. What we don't have is Krishna. Give one lifetime to Krishna. And Maharaj did it. Amazing. It is a tapasya, austerity, but he did it. So that's true, actually. What we don't have is Krishna. You have taken birth in 1970, means I had 80 years, 2050. And 60 years onwards, the body gives so much trouble. And what is the relationship with the material world? What is the relationship with the other human beings, family members? Body. Once it turns into ashes, that connection is disconnected. Hare Krishna. Excuse me. And why we are roaming, what is it? Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. We are traversing one time in heavenly planets, one time as a dog, one time as a cat, one time in human, earthly planets, sometimes in Patala regions. We're traveling different from one place to another place. Brahman, we are just Brahman kar rahe hain actually. But fortunately, when our good fortune arises, we take birth, we get a human form actually. And where we approach a spiritual master, who will connect us to Krishna again, re-establish our link. And then, billions of lifetimes later, first time we try to go back to Godhead, we endeavor to go back to Godhead. So for this, what is needed? Sadhana. What is the biggest aspect of sadhana? Sangha. What is the biggest aspect of sadhana? Sangha. Sangha means what? What is Sangha? Sadhu Sangha means what? You'll be attracted to a sadhu. When you're attracted, you'll try to imitate him or follow him. So when you try to follow him, that causes attachment. So what are the two things that are needed? We should not imitate, we should follow. Not Anukaran, but Anusharan. What is that? So when we try to follow somebody, we'll have attraction for them, yes. And eventually that attraction will lead to attachment to them. Haribol. Prasangam Majaram Pasam Atmano Kaviyo Vidu Sayeva Sadhu Sukrata Moksha Dwaram Apavratam. When we associate with devotees, the doors for liberation, they are open. Attachment is the cause of our bondage, but if we keep the same attachment for the sadhus, the doors for liberation, they're open. The doors for love of God, they're open. Pure bhakti has two qualities. Tatastha Lakshana and the primary aspect and secondary aspect. What is the primary aspect of pure devotional service? Anukulyena Krishna Anusila. So you will follow whatever is good for bhakti. What is the secondary aspect? You don't have any other desire. You don't have desire for other things. Anya Vilashata. And you don't follow jnana or karma. No. Jnana yoga and karma yoga, they are not pure devotional service. They don't give rise to pure devotional service. Only bhakti does. So, for us to develop desire to practice pure devotional service, we need to have the association of pure sadhus. Pure sadhu means sadhu who has pure motives. That type of association we should long for. My attachment to my body, wife, children, and home is continuing by the spell of your external energy. I wish to be attached to them no longer. I don't want to be attached. Hare Krishna. So, actually, what is the big first step in problem solving? Identify the problem. What is the problem? Here, we are in Maya. What is the symptom that we are in Maya? We have attachment for our body. Every time we look in the mirror 10 times, I wish I could be like this, I could be like this. We're attached to family members, attached to children, spouse, home. As long as you have some connection, Runa means as you have some debt for with them, you will stay in that body. Once that is gone, you are ejected out of the body. Only Paramatma knows what time, what time he has to leave that body, so that you will also follow. We as a soul follow that super soul. Nobody knows. So that's why what you have to do. What is the goal of life? Shaknoti haiva yashodam praksarira vimokshanat kama krododbhavam vegam sayuktasya sukhi naraha. So we don't know when that date comes. So that's why one has to endeavor to overcome kama, lust, krodha, anger. Hare Krishna. So best thing, so what does it mean? Detachment means leave the family? No. Spiritualize your relationships. In fact, we should not leave, but we should stay and serve them with the double vigor, seeing Krishna in their heart. In other words, when you spiritualize your relationships, that is good for the opposite party, it is good for us. So if you want to be detached, first be attached to Krishna. Be attached to the process of Krishna, process of attaining Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, Vritasura was a demon. Indra could not believe his eyes, his ears. Wow, he's telling this such a pure aspirations, pure philosophy. Actually, pure bhakti, actually. But said, wait, fight. And Vritasura, what he did, after speaking these prayers, he picked up a mace, a club, and threw it at Indra. That club was coming like a, like a meteor. But Indra with his Vajra, he made them into pieces and he cut off the head of Vritasura. Then, and Indra threw a club. Again, Vritasura caught that club and he hit him very hard. Because of that, his Vajra fell down on the ground. And Indra was sad. But Vritasura said, no, pick it up. Please pick it up. Fight with me, no problem. Indra picked it up. And Vritasura picked up the trident. And he threw the trident. Trident was coming with force. And Indra cut off the trident into pieces with his Vajra. And with that force, he cut off the hand of Vritasura. Without both the hands. Vritasura was beautiful. He had, this, there was a bleeding in his arms without hands. But he came, he put his jaw on the ground, he stretched the mouth up to the sky, and he swallowed Indra and Vajra with Airavat. He swallowed like a gulab jamun. Not much big he was. Everyone said, alas, alas, alas. But because Vishwarup gave Narayan Kavach to Indra, Vishwarup gave Narayan Kavach to Indra, Indra didn't die. But Vritasura thought, look, this is what my dad wanted me to do. I did it. My job is done. Though I lost both the arms, I still became victorious by eating up the enemy. And he sat in deep meditation to attain the lotus feet of Sankarshan, Krishna. But then Indra, because of the Narayan Kavach, he couldn't, he didn't die. He, with his Vajrayudh, he cut off the stomach of Vritasura, came out, and he started cutting the throat of Vritasura. It took 360 days for Indra to cut off the head of Vritasura. But Vritasura was so absorbed in his meditation. Hare Krishna. Sometimes somebody says like this, oh, we are chanting, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? But here Indra was cutting the head of Vritasura. But Vritasura was so absorbed in his meditation on the lotus feet of Krishna, he was least disturbed. Haribol, amazing. Bhishma, Arjuna shot arrows. Every 2 inches there was an arrow. But Bhishma was lying on the battlefield. And he was giving instructions to Maharaj Yudhishthira. He was not worried for his for injuries. Every 2 inches there was an arrow. So yes, Vritasura lost the battle. All the sages glorified, all the devatas glorified Indra. But what happened? Vritasura was removed from the battle. But Vritasura went back to Godhead. Can somebody read these 2 words?
Prabhuji, these Vritrasur lost went back to Godhead.
Indra victorious continued in the cycle of birth and death.
Yes, there was celebration. Wow, finally, Vritasura died. Haribol, Indra, congratulations. So, but who won actually? Indra, in absolute sense, Indra was a loser. Relatively, Indra won and Vritasura was lost actually. But from the absolute realm, Indra lost and Vritasura was won. He went back to Godhead. That's why rather than sometimes, we are so absorbed, we want our votes. No, what I said is right. We try for victories. Especially, what is that? We try for victories in this material world. We try to, we want our votes. We want to uplift our votes. In a sense, we want things to happen in our way. Otherwise, we become dissatisfied. Here, Indra became victorious, but continued in the cycle of birth and death. And here, Vritasura died, went back to Godhead, Hare Krishna. So, bhakti means beyond being right. Bhakti means beyond being right. Probably Indra might have celebrated 7 days of, victory celebrations. But who actually won the war? Who won the battle actually? Vritasura. So devotee can serve Krishna in any way. Every way. Any question or comment?
Thank you so much, bro. Before the questions, give me 2 minutes so I can make a few announcements. And devotees can also send the question in the chat, or can ask a question, raise your hand.
Anyone has any comment, also fine.
So, thank you everyone again for joining. So we have this every Wednesday we have this Sangha at 8:30 p.m. So today we have His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhu speaking. This coming Sunday we have His Grace Harinavana Prabhu speaking in our center. This is in person. Our program starts from 4:30 p.m. And we have weekly Bhakti Vrikshas in different locations. If devotees are interested to this homely, very close program, this is the best, I think, association to have, as Prabhuji was so much emphasizing the point on association. And also we have Bhagavad Gita reading from Monday to Friday at 12 p.m. to 12:15, 15 minutes. Devotees join Zoom call, same Zoom call to read Bhagavad Gita. And every morning we have 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Japa call, so devotee can join also in the same Zoom. And also you can utilize our calendar events where you can see all the events that is happening, our upcoming events, at picnic, all the Ekadasi fasting, everything you can see here. So thank you again. If any questions, please go ahead. I think one devotee was asking questions on the chat, that if one does bhakti alone, with or without jnana, then is it not better to do bhakti with jnana, something like that?
If one does bhakti along with jnana, Prabhuji, no, yeah, why not? We learn bhakti, we learn knowledge relating to devotional service. Yes. Sambandha abhideya prayojana, we want that. Definitely we need it, but that is also bhakti, Prabhuji. This knowledge, this jnana, leading to bhakti, how to perform bhakti, we need that. That is bhakti only, but that's the difference, so we need, like Lord Chaitanya, he spoke to Sanatana Goswami, and as Rupa Goswami, he spoke to Rupa Goswami 2 months, and he spoke to Sanatana Goswami in the Dashashwamedha Ghat. Otherwise, bhakti means jumping up and down, dancing, we'll end up in an orthopedic ward. So we need, so that's why Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they wrote books, how to perform bhakti. So you definitely, it's the knowledge about how to perform bhakti. That is part of bhakti only, so otherwise, if you just imitate Lord Chaitanya dancing, rising, jumping up 14, 15 feet high, then, yes, we'll end up being sick, actually. So, so we need definitely knowledge how to perform bhakti. That is also bhakti, actually. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu. Subhadrani Madhuri, let's go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavata pranam Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a question that when we are serving the kids, our husband, household, then where we can draw a line that sometimes I feel that is it a service or am I going in Maya, service and Maya? So that I am struggling in that point, Prabhuji.
Nice point, so Aman, it's natural to have affection for kids and family members and spouse. But Abhimanyu Krishna had affection for Abhimanyu. After listening directly Bhagavad Gita from Arjuna, from Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when Abhimanyu died 10th day, after listening Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna cried. Somebody asked his Prabhupada this question to Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, yes, devotees are not hard-hearted, devotees are soft-hearted. But Abhimanyu did not give up, Arjuna did not give up fighting. Next day he went to the war. So when you can, if you can spiritualize your attachment, make your children devotees, keep Krishna in the center of your family, then do things, try your best to perform bhakti, but you also have to undertake your responsibility as the mother, as a wife, so you should undertake your responsibilities, So chant your 16 rounds, follow 4 regulated principles, you are initiated. So you do this, you could do your commitment to Guru, life is a triangle, luckily you're not working. I mean, of course you may not be working in a corporate, but you're also working at home, maybe 12 hours, 14 hours. So you work, So if you serve them, because this is my husband, this is my kids, that'll cause bondage. Yes, this is my husband, this is my kids, but they are Krishna given husband, so they are Krishna given children, and this is Krishna's given, my husband is Krishna given husband. When Krishna comes into the picture, that attachment is spiritualized, that relationship is spiritualized, Krishnaized. That is good for you and for them also. Not like otherwise, your child will come and say, Mommy, so go away, I don't want any attachment. Not like that. No, you should embrace them. So if you see actually what is that in Vrindavan Leela, so Krishna expanded himself as cows and calves. So these cows, the calves started running for the mother. When the big cows started seeing the calves, they started running for the calves. But these cows are grown up. They don't need milk. Still, the cows were coming down the hill and releasing all the milk. When the cowherd boy, the cowherdmen saw that, they became very upset. They tried to stop them. Then they saw their children. When they saw their children, they embraced the children, started kissing them. So, wow. So why not? So we don't need to be so worried. So have affection. This is Krishna given child. Show your affection as a mother, but you perform your responsibility. This is Krishna given husband. Serve him, and you undertake your duties. I'm honest with you. Krishna will take care of you eventually. When the time comes, try your best. We don't need to be so, what is that? Am I on the bodily consciousness? Am I on the, am I in the spiritual consciousness? Try your best. That will, when you perform bhakti with Krishna in the center consciously, how do you make sure Krishna is in the center? You chant your rounds nicely, and you offer food to Krishna, and you feed your family nicely, and I'm sure you have some spiritual practice at home, aarti and all, once in a day for 15-20 minutes, whatever. You all sit together and chant. You do this and leave the rest to Krishna. That's what I can tell them.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. And another question, Prabhuji. Recently, I heard about my friend. She has totally cancer, and she has less time, a couple of months she has, but she's a little more strong only. But after hearing that, my health is getting down. Whenever I was thinking of her, then how I can handle that?
Okay, this is the first thing. First of all, have faith in Krishna. We are all different. We are unique individuals. We have a role to perform. So we don't need to be, because it is happening to me, is to somebody it will happen to me. Not like that. Whatever is going to happen will happen. First thing is have faith in Krishna. Yes, our body is temporary, no doubt. As spirit soul, we are eternal. But thing is, we try to maintain good health as much as possible, of course. But whatever I told before, you undertake those responsibilities, most diligent way. It is a mind, a nonsense mind. Like it's like, what is that? Somebody is, in California, Apple and Google side by side. Google laid off 10,000 people. Immediately people working in the Apple, it will happen to me. It's natural actually. But what can you do? So the simple thing is, be prepared for anything, but rather than one of the nasty things for mind is imagine. Mind imagines, it's a demon. So don't use, when the mind is going in the direction, immediately cut it off and focus on something very fruitful. Otherwise, if everyone has gone to office, you sit down and say, why it's happening, waste time, hours and hours. Maybe it'll happen to me. That's how mind imagines actually. Mind is a demon. So the moment thought comes, cut it, get up and engage yourself in some positive activity. If you don't learn to cut the mind from imagining, mind will, this instruction, this suggestion is for everyone. We should not let mind wander and imagine, and eventually it will take us to that point, mind will make us suffer. Why should we allow mind to imagine a lot to the extent it will bring us suffering and suffer? So tell the mind, shut up. First of all, you should know you're not the mind. Second thing, already know many times you heard, you are not the body. Then don't allow mind to roam here and there. When it's going, means you have not controlled the mind. Yes, I can understand. You focus on something positive. Call somebody, talk to somebody, or keep yourself busy with some other household activities.
Very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Anybody else has any question? So I would like to add a question that I really love the point that you concluded with, where you were saying that sometimes you're trying to be victorious in this material world. So that actually, because of that attitude, what we have, it makes us actually stuck us, like in this material world again and again, the cycle of birth and death. And even we can see the mood you were talking about, how when Vritasura was being like cut by Indradev. So he was still like in that that meditation towards the Lord, right? And how can actually we can have that mood of surrender all the time? Like it's doesn't matter, like I'm victorious if I'm a failure, right? I really don't have to win, right? I just have to have that, even I'm right or wrong, it really doesn't matter. So whatever can please devotees of Krishna, that can really that's much more important to me. So how can we have that kind of feeling?
Have a strong sambandha jnana. Sambandha jnana means I'm a spiritual part and parcel of Krishna. That is sambandha jnana. So we should be connected, like if you have a good sambandha jnana, that's why me reading is not enough. Studying means it has to sink in. I'm a spirit soul, not the body. So yes, I am part and parcel of Krishna. Raksha tishyati vishwa. So Krishna will definitely protect me. Probably many times things will not, I cannot say many times. Sometimes things will go in our way, sometimes things will not go in our way. Srila Prabhupada, business means sometimes business was growing, sometimes it was failing. Most of the time it was failing. But Srila Prabhupada's faith and his guru's instructions, Srila Prabhupada's faith and Krishna never wavered actually. So Prabhupada, he was very focused. Can I have a question for you? Srila, Prabhupada failed in India for 30 plus years. And somebody is giving you an opportunity to come to America. Like, you are a Java programmer. You failed in India. Every time you get a Java job, 2 months you're laid off. Like that you failed for 30 years. And somebody says, hey, I'll do H1 for you. Come to America. So you'll ask, which software? Java. Will you come to America or not? He said, no, I don't want to come to America. But Prabhupada, at least Java is relatable because you failed 30 years, so you learned something. But this is America, totally against spirituality, especially against Indian culture. At least Indians have some respect. Prabhupada never hesitated to come to America. Wow, his faith on Krishna. That is Sambandha Jnana. We need to have that Sambandha Jnana. Whatever happens in my life is for my good. Krishna is, if we have that faith, we'll accept it. If we always want Krishna to give us success, we are like a pampered child, then we'll be spoiled actually. That is wrong. Why Krishna doesn't give success all the time? we'll develop ego and we'll fall down. So what is it? Krishna knows what is best for us. So what is that? That's why we may not have the aspiration, we may not have the qualities, but pure devotional service should be our aspiration. Anya bilashita sunyam jnana karmada navartam. That was the word anukulyena. That should be the primary aspect. We try, we may fail also sometimes, we may not be able to do all the time what is favorable for Krishna consciousness, but that should be our aspiration. Then what happens? Other sometimes, in the material world, we don't want our words to fall down. Remember, I told you it didn't happen. No. It did not happen because you said. Because I said it happened. We want to prove to the world how powerful we are. As long as we have this mentality, we cannot grow. So see Krishna's hand. When the operation is performed, you give value to the, you appreciate the knife or the doctor. You don't take the knife, this is the knife that has performed. You don't do that. You will appreciate the doctor. Krishna is the doctor, and Krishna is the doctor, and we are the, the instruments in Krishna's hands. Sometimes positive, sometimes negative. Sometimes maybe 60-70% negative and 30-40% positive. So that will check our ego. Krishna will somehow, it'll sink in. What is that? I'm not the doer. Then probably Krishna may use us to do more things. And that's what I can tell. If you have a better answer, anyone has a better answer, please you can do that. Otherwise, any other question?
Thank you so much. Anybody has any other questions?
Thank you very much, and we'll end it. Very grateful, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.